Welcome back to the Brew Crew podcast, everyone. This is episode 136 on video in a different place. Now you get to see my home.
The real deal, yeah.
The real deal. This is the pseudo guac pit, but we're gonna have a different name.
Yeah.
We still don't have it yet.
No.
Yeah, I've been kind of toying with it, and I've been kind of going back and forth between something ghost and something historic, because it's an old house.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure that out. All right. I was gonna go like Bob's Burgers themed.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I'd love that. But they live in an apartment above the restaurant.
Yeah.
And I think I'd love a Bob's Burger themed house name, bar name.
I wish
we should
I
come up with a name
there.
now, and then we'll have a new name when the bar's done.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So we can do it really anything.
Yeah.
So
what you got?
yeah. Well, first the elephant in the room. Matt is not here again. That's okay.
Yep.
He's enjoying his time off, I'm sure. I haven't actually talked
I hope
to him.
so.
I try not to bother him when he's on vacation.
Yeah.
Or if he's on vacation or just doing whatever, maybe military stuff.
Yeah. Pro tip: whenever you have time off, do your best to enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Don't not enjoy it. It's such a waste.
That's a good
of
pro
time.
tip. People forget that.
Yeah.
So he's not here. He'll be back next week for our bad beer week.
Yes.
And that is going to segue into this story. Do you have the same story?
It's the same story.
Why don't you do it and then we'll talk about it.
No. You went first, so go ahead.
Oh no, it's just a segue.
It was the
You do it.
The segue into the story.
The segue
about
into
the terrible
story
beer.
about bad beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The terrible beer from New Belgium.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the news.
That's it. The end. News is over.
All right. Good story.
New Belgium is it is. I really wish we could have gotten our hands on this beer, obviously, for next week. They intentionally made a really shitty tasting beer. It's called Torched Earth Ale. It's a beer brewed using smoke-tainted water, dandelions, and drought-resistant grains. They describe it. It's intentionally tasting pretty gnarly, and you know I believe them. They make really good beer.
Yeah.
So it's under the Fat Tire banner. It's just in time for Earth Day. Unfortunately, you can only get it in Colorado at their brewery. You can pick it up to go or have it there in the brewery. So really not much of a chance for us to get it, especially get it by next week, unless there's some rabid chuggalos out there in Colorado that want to ship us some Torched Earth Ale.
Yeah.
We will happily consume it for you and give you a terrible review.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a terrible beer.
I'll even go so far as to say, if you find this beer and get it to us by next week, we'll reward you.
Oh, you would be rewarded.
You'll be rewarded with more than just a bad review.
If you mailed us that terrible beer, you would get.
I mean, that's a big deal.
High praise.
So the goal here is to mimic climate change. What ingredients will be available?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the whole point of it is to continue to raise awareness. Like they said, timed to be available for Earth Day. But yeah, it's brewing with what may be available in the future, because what we currently have available will not be available because it will go extinct. So we'll have to make beer with terrible stuff like worms and mold. You know, we'll have to grind up moles
And dandelions.
And our water is going to taste like smoke.
Yeah, I think the hesitation to jump on board with climate change, maybe not climate science, has been business leaders recognizing that their businesses will be impacted.
I've never understood that point of view, because viewing it from a business perspective, I see it as a huge opportunity to make money.
Sure.
Like if you're in business, you're in business to make money.
You are.
So if you're constantly thinking about yesterday or today, then you're incorrect. You always have to think about the future.
Yeah.
Because that's where the dollars are going to come from the future. So you have to align yourself and prepare for that. And, you know, whether you believe the climate changes or not, or what causes it, it does change. It constantly changes.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that is constant is change.
That's true.
The climate changes. So leaning into that and finding a way to monetize that has always escaped me, why so many companies drag their feet into it and stick their head in the sand and like, nope, it's not real. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep making our diesel engines and, you know.
Yeah, well, that's the change I was referring to. I think business leaders who weren't on board are now seeing that either they can profit from it or they're going to lose because of it.
They'll die.
You know? Like New Belgium's saying, the ingredients you'll have available to you will be garbage.
Yeah.
So make a change. So That's part of it.
Yep. So that was our. We'll climb down off of our
horse. Off
and
the high horse.
Get on our our mini horse.
On our mini horse. I'm wearing sweatpants. That's my mini horse.
I should have worn my sweatpants.
We talked about this on Sunday, and I was gonna change into shorts. Because when I get on camera, I get nervous and I start to sweat a little bit. But I thought, you know what? We talked about this. Sweatpants are gonna be okay.
Did I commit to wearing sweatpants?
You didn't. No. I worked from home today, so I had them on all day.
I had them on all day.
Yeah.
And I finally
now you look nice. I can't believe it.
I finally put on
Come
pants.
over here in a t-shirt.
I should have.
So yeah, all right. So here's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna jump into the beer review segment. I have a beer that I picked up at Jungle Jim's.
Awesome.
So I know some of the ingredients, but I don't know them all because it's actually 2 long lines of ingredients on the bottom of this can, and I covered them up. So I don't want to take the label off to say what the name of the beer is if I can get it without. I think it's called Chug or.
All I can read is chug, 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 chug.
Yeah, it's called Punch. Oh yeah, it's called Punch, which makes sense why there'd be like 1,010 ingredients.
Okay.
But I want to do this. I don't want you to review it, without knowing all the facts. But I want you to taste it.
Wait. First, before we do it, it says stop, drop, and roll.
Oh, good call. I always forget to look for that.
Very
so we're gonna stop, drop, and roll it. I got Post-it notes on the ingredients, and when I read them, we're gonna need to stop the video and start a new one because my file size is gonna get huge. Because there's so many ingredients.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to. We're gonna have to send this to you in a zipped file.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on YouTube as a downloadable.
Yeah,
you're not gonna be able to watch it live. And then there's also, I thought this was interesting, a scan can for born on date. I don't know how that's reliable. I'd rather you just stamp it on there.
Yeah,
you can change that. All right, let's open this thing up. 3. This is Punch. 3. You good?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. All right. So this is Punch, and it is by. Gosh, I forgot already. Who is it by? Stop, drop, roll your can. Man, that's awesome that they put that on there. Whoa. Oof.
Man.
It's earthy.
Earthy?
I think, it's got some
earthy.
Got some plants in it.
Holy crap. That was a surprise.
It's sour too. It is a sour ale.
Okay.
That I'll definitely give you.
Yeah, I got stocked with sourness right away.
Sour is there. And that's there for sure. All right, so just some initial thoughts and then we'll take them off.
Initial thoughts. It's sour.
We're dealing with
ale. Mm-hmm. Sour ale. Mm-hmm. So Sour Patch Kids, or Warheads.
It does have a Warheadsy flavor to it. Yeah. Not as sour as a Warhead, but it has that that sweet aftertaste. Yeah. That bitter sugar.
So along those lines, I don't know. I don't get the earthiness. I get like a slight kind of malty finish at the very, very, very end, like now, on my breath.
Oh, interesting.
But that's from the ale. So that's all I'm really coming up with. Right. Warheads.
Fair enough.
I don't think that's.
I like that because I can taste that. I can taste the airheadsiness.
Okay.
All right. This beer is called Punch Yourself. Yeah, take them off. Take it off. This has got so many ingredients. This is actually by Oozlefinch Beers, which we've never done before.
So do you make trips often to Jungle Jim's?
No.
Or you just went down there and
I went down the first and only time I've ever been there.
Okay.
No. I only got like 3 beers.
Oh.
Yeah. The first time the international beers, my wife went.
She went without you, probably.
Yeah, my brother-in-law came to help with the bar, and there was one day where I had to work on my PTO, and they needed this document by the end of the day or whatever.
Sure they did.
So I worked, and exactly. I worked, and she and him went to Jungle Jim's with the kids, and she found all those international beers. So she's gone twice, I've gone once. Gotcha. I went once, said I want to find a bunch of cool beers, found some cool beers, and here they are. And this is the last of them.
This is a cool beer.
Yeah, this is a cool beer.
I think this is a cool beer.
So while you get your review all in order, I will read the ingredients and I will save the can art for my section. This is a sour ale with Angelica root powder, cardamom, Cardi B, Cassia Power. Cassia, like Casio, but Cassia.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe it's Cassia, or I don't know. Sasha? I don't know how you say that word. Cassia. Maybe that's something. Never heard of it. Lemon peel powder, orange peel powder, coriander. There's that coriander. Juniper berries, star anise powder, orris root powder, pineapple, passion fruit, apricot, vanilla, and lactose.
Gosh.
This is the.
I was gonna
Jungle
say
Juice.
lactose.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You
I
can
could
taste
get the lactose.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that up front, but
I will say it's a more subtle lactose than
it is.
in
it
a
is
milk
subtle.
stout.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not like
The milk stouts.
sugar.
I can't do it. The lactose is gross. So this brewery is out of Fort Monroe, Virginia. Do you know where that's at?
I don't know.
Spend much time in Virginia?
Nope.
Me neither.
I love the name of the brewery,
Yeah.
Oozlefinch Beers,
Oozlefinch.
and I like the fact that even they also print the head brewer's name.
Yeah, I
Rachel
like that
Howard.
too. Rachel Howard.
Good job, Rachel. Because
She's
this
in
is.
charge.
I will go ahead and start reviewing this.
Yeah,
This
go
is
ahead.
a delicious beer. This is really good. A great sour ale. 8%. It's delicious. Let's see. Like I said, it's got a really kind of a warhead type of a flavor to it. The lactose doesn't come across a lot. Coriander, thank God I can't taste any of that. As far as
thank
everything else, there's no way to.
Yeah, no.
You know.
You couldn't differentiate them.
I like the fact that they say, powder this and powder that. Like, I wonder if other breweries, when they say we use lemon peel, are they actually using this powder?
Yeah, I wonder.
And these people are just being upfront and honest, like, hey, we're just using these powdered flavors.
Yeah, I wonder what that is.
And what is like?
Like, is it ground up and dried out, or is it like just a sugar powder, like Kool-Aid?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
I don't know.
Do they just pour a bunch of Kool-Aid packets in this? Punch yourself.
Punch
Great
yourself.
name.
Definitely.
Very cool can art. We won't get into that. I won't get into that. Batch number 479.
Wow.
So they've
done some beers.
They've made some beer. Rachel Howard knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Back to the flavoring. I just can't pick out anything. It's just they could have gone the exact opposite route. They could have put the white label on the can and they could have said sour ale.
Yeah.
8%.
Definitely.
And you would go, man, this is a sour ale.
Yeah,
I don't need any.
would.
I wouldn't just go the complete opposite route of this can because that's all I get. I get the fact that it is right up my alley. It's been a long time since I've had a sour. Actually, I don't remember the last one that I had.
Oh.
So this is actually really refreshing to get back to a sour, and this is a really good one to get back to a sour. I give this a 4.5.
Nice.
This is very, very good.
Redemption.
Highly recommend it. Yeah, this is great. I would. If I see this is definitely a repeat purchase. I will buy this.
Yeah. If you go to Jungle Gyms, they have it. They had a bunch when I was there. I don't know how fast it's going to go. After this podcast is released,
It's
gone. I mean, good luck. And Chuggalo Stev can account for that. Every time we talk about a beer, it's off the shelves. So Oozlefinch, they kind of have like a platform vibe where they brew different beers all the time. I don't know that they have a standard because there's nothing on here that would indicate that they have like a house standard. They described their relationship with brewing as an experience we want you to have with the beer, and we want you to fall in love with a beer. Thus, when it runs out, fall in love with the next one. So they want you to just fall in love.
And be an alcoholic.
Yeah, and drink a lot of beer. So they basically say right on the website, Oozlefinch will constantly see new offerings. Classic styles reimagined with new ingredients. So that's it. Experimental hybrid styles designed to challenge and please your palate. So that's good that they want to please your palate.
I think
Because I'm worried that some breweries are trying to do the opposite.
like New Belgium. You're intentionally trying to make your palate.
Trying to fuck you up.
Yeah.
So, they got a ton of beer. Looks like a lot of sours. Farmhouse ales, fruited beer, almost everything on here. Oh, they got a stout. There's a stout. Found it.
They have
Like, where's
IPAs.
Waldo? Let's see. Yeah, they have an IPA. Do a Dippa. Make them dance. That's what it's called. I think that's like, or Do a Deepa. Maybe like Do a Lipa. There's a guy who sings. I'm not big on pop. They also have Smashmallow, which is a milkshake IPA. Which, can you guess what it's themed for? Given the time of year and the name.
Smashmallow?
Mm-hmm. Smashmallow.
Smashmallow. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, marshmallow, but...
Yeah, Peeps.
Oh, Peeps.
It's a Peeps beer.
Got it.
Blue Peeps and Cara Orange. That's that, and it's an IPA.
Huh.
So there you have it. That's Oozlefinch.
I feel like as a brewer, if you were a brewer, how would you want to approach your job? Would you want to go in there and constantly reimagine standards and constantly experiment with stuff? Or would you want to just go in there and, you know, add in the 80 pounds of hops and add in the water and add in this and stir it and mix it and sit there and, you know, that's your day.
Yeah.
And do that for 35 years? Like, which one would you rather do?
I mean, even ignoring the kind of the tone of each of those options.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I led the witness.
Yeah, you did, but that's okay. I was already thinking that. We've gone over this so many times. I think there are beers that everyone thinks they're supposed to like. Bourbon barrel stouts, for example. And I think that a bourbon barrel stout is, at this point, pretty overdone. You know, it's too routine now. And Goose Island tried to mix it up a couple of years ago. They did like all those flavors. I think they did it last year too, and I don't think anyone cared. If it's reimagined by someone like this, I think it could work. I don't know. Maybe, but it won't have the fanfare. And I think if I was a head brewmaster or I owned a brewery, it might not, that fanfare, it might not be what I'm looking for. Because I would build an environment much like Nowhere in Particular, where you go in and you're welcomed with a yelling bartender who's super excited that you're there. Yeah. And it's fun. And they got crazy artwork that you can buy right off the wall. And I don't want like beer snobs coming in. I'd totally take their money. And if I make good beer, I'd take their compliments too. But yeah, what about you?
Same.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, I wouldn't want to just brew Budweiser for 35 years.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't, I'm sure that those guys are very proud of their job and that's great and they should be. But I don't know if that's for me.
No, it's not.
You know,
it's definitely not for you.
Fort Monroe, I just had to Google it real quick. It's right there in the thick of everything. Newport News, Norfolk.
Oh, okay. In the good thick of it. There's two thick of it's in Virginia.
Yeah.
DC and Norfolk. That's the good thick of it.
Yeah, it's down there, right there, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach. It's not far from Hampton and all that stuff. So
Virginia Beach.
So that's a really good spot. High density population. I bet the brewery's a ton of fun. Well, I mean, with this beer,
shitloads of pilots, shitloads of sailors. Man,
yeah,
I love Virginia Beach.
Do you?
Yeah.
Have you spent like serious time there?
Yes, about 8 months maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I went to school there.
Serious. Okay.
For the Navy.
I went there TDY like a handful of times. I went to the base there, but I never had a good amount of time to get out and about. I was very busy with work, and then it was just like work and sleep and work and sleep.
Yeah, everything's pretty standard for your coastal town, except the beach. Like, I just think that beach was one of the more fun beaches.
Yeah,
the actual beach in Virginia Beach, and part of it is cordoned off for the Navy. So we would do PT on the beach, which was awesome. That's probably part of my fondness for it.
Yeah.
Everywhere else in the Navy, just depressing for me. That's why I got out. So it's an 8%. Did I say that? An 8%?
Yeah, we've covered that.
Yeah, okay. So here's the Can Art Boner segment brought to you by Still Chuggalo Emily, because this was bought by me. So there's no new. I'm just going to turn it at the speed Matt likes.
The speed of Matt.
The speed of Matt.
That's a new mathematical speed.
Oh, yeah.
Speed of Matt.
The speed of Matt. science. All right, so there's a lot going on here. Just okay. So in the front we got this rooster, right? The rooster has the red thing on the top.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah. I guess they're all chickens.
I think the rest are chickens, probably. But in the front, he's got a bow tie on.
Yeah.
And he's making probably jungle juice or some sort of party punch.
Yes, he's making the juice for
He's
sure.
making the juice. He's got the ladle. There's probably so much Everclear in that thing because the ladle is visible through the redness. Usually when you make jungle juice, it's like 1,000,000 parts Hawaiian Punch and like some people do put a lot of alcohol in it, but it's not see-through. So that's just I'm just inferring that from this. And then there's 2 chickens in the back doing a beer bong. And it's a silhouette, but you can tell. And then there's 2 more chickens yelling chug, chug, chug. And then there's another 2 chickens doing a keg stand.
Yep.
And then there's 2 more in the back yelling chug right here.
This is a rager.
Yes,
this is a full raging party.
This is a scene. This is what they call a scene. This is a scene of art. This is not just one little picture. It's the whole environment here. You can just really figure it out. There's a couple there's some chickens down drinking by themselves. Man, there's so much going on here. And then they have I think this is their logo because I saw it on the website. It's the silhouette of a chicken, and then punch yourself is right there. And then there's a bunch of empty cans too. So they don't only have a keg and jungle juice. They have shitloads of cans.
Yeah, this is, like I said, this is a full-on raging like college party. Got piles of cans, got keg stands going on, got the punch bowl, got the chickens in the back yelling chug, chug, chug.
That sounds like a lyric. The chickens in the back yelling chug, chug, chug.
That is good.
That's got to be like a song already. Yeah, it's a really, really well done. Lot going on. Gives you something to look at when you drink this delicious beer, and it's done on a foil label, which gives it that shine that probably caught my eye in the store. Listerman's does that. They do the foil, and I used to always fall for it and buy it. I read the can now.
Yeah,
I read all the ingredients because some Listerman beers are pretty average. I haven't had like a bad one, but I've had some that I was like, whoa, lemon drop, sugar cookie, oh yeah, and then it's like, this is an IPA.
Yeah.
That didn't register with me at all.
I like Listerman. I think they're above average.
Yeah, I think they're above average too. But some of the beers that you get that have these nice labels are just average.
Yeah. Well, that's the name of the game.
It's the name of the game. They do some good things with some fruit you don't see, like apricot.
It was funny, when I was in New Hampshire, I didn't get any beer. We were in this really small shop in my sister's, where my sister lives, and they had a little beer cooler, and I was explaining like can art because they had it was nothing but craft beer in the store. It wasn't like a convenience store, just craft beer. And I was like, at this point, where do you shop? What are you looking for?
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. I'm just looking. I was like, well then, so you're just strictly looking at the visuals. You're not even looking at what the beer is.
Right.
And she's like, so prove my point that can art is what grabs your attention, reels you in, and more than likely gets you to open the cooler and buy something.
Yeah, can art sells, and I think they should do more with it. I think that they should start selling it. NFTs.
Man.
Digital art, man.
Still right out of my mouth.
I don't know. I haven't purchased. Have you bought any NFTs?
I've not.
Me neither. I
NFTs.
haven't got the courage to pull the trigger. I haven't found anything even remotely interesting to buy.
The only one that I would have bought maybe was Gronk's.
Gronk, he had one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What was it?
I don't know.
Just like an autograph or something?
All I know is that Gronk sold his NFT.
Okay.
I don't know if you can buy numerous NFTs or if it's just simply one off.
For the NFT purposes, it's you only get that one.
Yeah.
Because it's
but he could have like one of 500.
But he could have so
I could have like number 232.
And they'd all be logged in the code.
Blockchain.
I don't think this is a valuable medium of art collection personally. I think if you want to make NFTs better, you need to start recognizing what digital collections could be. Like, what if you packaged up like the original, like a block of the original code from like Windows, like the first ever,
Mm-hmm.
like one of the drafts. And you were like, I mean, that'd be like getting like a draft of the Constitution or something, you know,
Yeah.
for Microsoft. I think people could buy that because you can't duplicate that physically. And I don't know, NFTs for art, I don't know. Where do you display it? On a website? That's dumb.
Yep, it's displayed on the website. Yeah, the guy that bought the most expensive one, I think it was $69 million.
Yeah,
was the paycheck for it.
Unbelievable.
And yeah, he's just going to display it on a website,
Mm-hmm.
so people can look at it.
So you can see it without ever having bought it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean,
Like-
eventually, I was reading about the next wave of all of this is digital real estate.
Digital real estate.
Yeah.
I don't
So
like
there's cryptocurrency.
that. Yeah.
There's NFTs. Next is we're entering sort of like a fourth dimension, if you will.
Right.
Basically now.
Where
we've
on
got,
the net do you live?
Yeah, exactly. So digital real estate is where the NFTs can be displayed.
Mm.
So this one-off NFT, this one thing,
Yeah.
you know, the Mona Lisa is
Right.
one item.
Yeah.
But you can go to the Louvre and see it,
Right.
right? So now they're trying to figure that out digitally for these pieces of art.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I could see that, you know. Like an art museum. A digital museum.
It's hard for me to wrap my head around. I understand what they're trying to do, but just sounds like a website to me.
Yeah, that's
Like
that's
ultimately
my
you're
bigger
just gonna
point.
Google it and you're gonna click on the image and you're gonna look
Yeah.
at it. So I don't really care about the digital real estate behind it.
No, me neither. I don't really care about the
It
NFT
sounds like a server.
itself. Doesn't make sense to me. But maybe when you put a monetary value to it, people will look at it. I don't know, but I know the cards are coming. Baseball cards are coming, and it's dumb.
I don't like that.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't remember where I was, but that was the Can Art Boner segment brought to you by Chundala Emily. So, oh yeah, I would like to buy some of this art. Not this one, but there's been some cans where I was like, man, I'd put that on my wall. Pretty cool. Now it's like a poster, because posters, you grow out of that. But like it's art.
It'd be neat to peel a bunch of these labels off, like very carefully, and then reapply them to something and
Yeah.
frame it. You know, that'd look cool.
That would look cool. I started to do that on my toolbox downstairs, but I never actually finished. That's a good idea. I should finish that. Just cover it in peeled can labels.
Yeah.
And they stay pretty sticky.
Yeah. If you can do it right,
Stickiness is good.
if you can do it right, they'll hold up.
Yeah, I'm right in line with you. This beer is really good. I think that obviously with the ingredients they put on it, it's super complex, and I can't comprehend that complexity. But I think it is more complex than your average sour, and I do get like a rindy kind of, I don't know what that. It's not bitterness, but just kind of that dry fruitiness. But it's real subtle, and I might be reaching, for that. But there's so many peel powders in here that I think it could be real. And there's also a lot in here that I couldn't tell you what does Angelica root powder taste like? What does cassia powder taste like?
Orris root, like what?
Orris root, yeah, Orris root. Is that even real? Are we just talking about? Is this a drug thing?
Yeah.
Star anise. I wish I've had it in foods. I don't know what it tastes like, honestly.
Yeah, star anise is a real thing.
Yeah, I know it's a real thing. But yeah, and juniper berries, I don't know. What do those taste like? Never seen them. Never had them. Yeah, vanilla and lactose to finish it off. Man, there's so much going on. Now that it's warmer, definitely not as good, but I'm not going to judge it on that because when I was drinking it cold, it was awesome. I'm going 4.5 as well.
I still like the flavor.
Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, it's still good. It's just not as good. Like if I had this warm.
Ooh, that bottom had some material to it.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm almost there. Yeah, it's still good. It's still 4.5.
all the powder starts.
It's good. This is the right balance of sour to flavor.
Pay attention to your cans, people. The Stop, Drop, and Roll is a great label. And if it says to do that, fucking do it. If you don't roll the can when it says roll the can, then you're not going to experience the beer the way that it
Yeah.
should be.
Experience it the way that the brewers wanted you to.
It's going to be all watery at the top, you know?
Yeah.
And the flavor would be all...
Yeah, and you're going to be like, this beer sucks.
Yeah.
What are these guys thinking?
And then you get to the bottom and be all sludgy.
Wonder if this has a stop, drop, and roll on it. Nope. I'm going to roll it anyway. I'm just going to start rolling all my beers. What do you do in the keg version of that? Like, if you order this at the bar, you're basically going to get the watery part. Unless it's
Well,
at the
I
end.
don't know. Isn't
I
it...
don't know. Does it?
Isn't it being...
I don't know how the innards of kegs work once you pump them.
There's
All right.
little people in there.
This next one here is Wolf's Ridge. We've had Wolf's Ridge several times. We've, from what I recall, liked all of them. There might have been some averages in there, but I don't think we've ever had a beer from Wolf's Ridge that we didn't like. That's not to bias the score. That's just to kind of intro you to this. This beer was bottled in 2019.
Old beer.
So this was kind of a shelf turd, but not a turd because it looked new, like they had just put it out. This is Clear Sky Blueberry Parfait.
Oh, go ahead. Did you also buy this at Jungle Gyms?
No, this was Arrow. Arrow has a really good selection of your one beers. That's the one thing you can't get at Crispy Crunchy Shell. Is the bottles,
The ones.
the big
bombers.
bottle. Yeah, exactly, the bombers. Oh boy, nailed it.
That was nice.
Yeah,
It looks
very foamy.
very blueberry.
It does look very blueberry. So you were just telling me about blueberries. There's a pie shop that makes a great blueberry pie. I don't know if you want to plug them. It might not be in your lane.
Partial to pie, man.
Partial to pie.
Partial to pie.
If you're in Dayton,
If
check
you're
it
in
out.
Dayton.
Partial to pie, blueberry pie.
Yeah, the best, hands down, the best blueberry pie. So, I'm a little bit particular about my blueberries. Since we're drinking a blueberry beer,
Yeah,
I'll
let's
go
talk
off on
about
this.
it.
I'll go off on this tangent.
Okay.
So typically in the store when you buy blueberries, they're pretty big blueberries, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're big and juicy, and
Yeah.
they, in my opinion, lack a ton of flavor.
Okay.
They're just those big ass blueberries. What I prefer is more wild blueberries from New England, from states like New Hampshire, where my family's from. They're very small blueberries, but they're extremely tart and they're very, very flavorful. But they're extremely difficult to find around here.
Mm-hmm.
If you grow them, they grow the big fat ones. If you buy them in the store, you buy the big fat ones. It's just really hard to find those really small tart ones. They do sell frozen ones that are available. I can't not remember the brand name of it, but they are legit. They are the small, tiny tart ones that are delicious.
Okay.
But you'd have to look in the frozen section for them.
Oh yeah.
So hard to find them fresh. So I'm hoping that the blueberries used in this is the good stuff. I can smell blueberry from here.
Mm-hmm.
I've been sitting back this entire
Yeah,
time.
you can definitely smell the blueberry. It looks blueberry. If you have any hot tips on a farmer's market too, I'd take it. But there's a farmer's market here, but it's like not great.
Yeah.
So,
The best farmer's market that I've ever been to is Findlay Market down in Cincinnati.
oh, okay.
Like just like 2 blocks away from Ryan Geist.
All right.
If a lot of they put a lot of time and effort into that, and they have some really, really good farmers
Oh,
show
good.
up there.
That's good.
So
yeah.
like it's every single whoever is there selling their goods
Mm-hmm.
is like a primo farm.
Okay.
It's not
Yeah, it's only the best.
hokey,
Yeah, right.
I
Here
paid
it's
$10.
hokey,
I paid $10 to participate in this farmer's market.
Right. Yeah. No.
That's not the case at Findlay Market.
Okay.
But it is in Cincinnati. So
Yeah.
it's best to make a day
Yeah.
to go down there and spend some time at Ryan Geist, have a few beers, go to Findlay Market,
Mm-hmm.
get some produce or whatever you're getting. They also have great meat, and then they've got a bunch of people that cook the food there as well. It's a really delicious place to eat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I do want to do that.
It is highly recommended.
Looking for a good farmer's market. And one that doesn't just sell trinkets. Like I want actual farm stuff.
Yeah.
Because like the one here, I don't think there's any, like there's some jellies. But that's not farm stuff. That's like, pre-made. I mean, maybe they got their stuff from a farm.
Yeah.
But I want like fresh fruit and vegetables.
So you got this from your local Arrow?
Got
right
this
up
from
here?
Arrow. Yep, right on Far Hills there. Far Hills and Dorothy Lane. Great selection of big beers, bombers and stuff.
And this is you believe that this is recent, not a shelf?
I believe it's shelved recently.
Shelved recently.
Because I go and look at those all the time.
I know, that's why.
But I have not seen this beer.
That's kind of why I'm
so
asking you these questions.
Yeah, it was packaged December 2019, but I'm not sure when Arrow received it or put it up. Maybe Wolf's Ridge didn't even ship it for a while. I don't know. I have no idea. It was not. I don't. Usually the beers that are there for years are dusty. There's dust there.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I don't get the dusty beers because that says something about the beer. So if you're a distributor and you deal with these places, dust your beers off because they're not going to do it for you. All right, this is a 5.5% beer. Clear Sky Blueberry Parfait is a cream ale with blueberry, cinnamon, and vanilla. Proudly brewed and bottled at Wolf's Ridge Brewing in Columbus, Ohio. There's a ton of narrative on here, and it's blueberry infused. I'll read that stuff later.
Okay. I've been waiting for you to do that.
Yeah.
All right, I'll dive into this. One more sip, just to confirm.
Confirm your biases.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
All right.
I've identified precisely nothing in this beer.
Okay.
Other than carbonation and blue coloring.
Yeah.
Getting
a phone call.
I'm not sure if the punch yourself tainted the palate first. It could have. But I'm not gonna hang my hat on that. Because it's cream ale, blueberry, cinnamon, vanilla. The description, all the selling features of it sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would absolutely be in and want this beer.
Yeah.
The flavor of it, I don't really get flavor. I get like seltzer water, like just seltzer water.
Yeah.
Blue seltzer water.
Blue seltzer water. Yeah.
I don't get cream ale.
Okay.
But once again, maybe my palate got wrecked, according to Matt.
Maybe.
I don't really get the blueberry, which is unfortunate. I get the coloring, I see it.
Mm-hmm. Even in this blue glass.
Even in the
which
blue
has
glass.
a Cubs logo on it.
Yeah.
Great baseball team.
Cinnamon, I don't get cinnamon. I don't get vanilla.
Yeah.
So everything that they say on the label is not available in the flavor, and that was kind of why I was questioning you about the shelf turdness of this beer.
Maybe
It's all dyed.
Case. Maybe it was there and I never saw it.
Or maybe, or maybe they cellared it intentionally and put it out later.
Yeah.
But maybe the flavor, maybe they shouldn't have done that. I don't know.
know.
Either way,
Maybe they put it in the sun for 6 years.
yes,
Probably what happened.
yeah, for 6 years, and then they came back.
It was
in time.
bottled in 2019.
They cellared it in the sun for till 2025. They came back in time to put it on the shelf in 2021. This is
good.
2021, right?
So Wolf's Ridge has
We're here.
perfected time travel.
Mm.
That we know. We'll find that out in 2 years.
Yeah.
But
Finally
we know,
proof.
because we've also perfected it.
So I love parfaits. Do you like parfaits?
Yes, like the yogurt
Yeah.
parfaits. Yeah, love them.
Yogurt, fruit,
Typically
granola,
very fresh. Yeah,
very fresh.
crunchy granola. I don't like that.
No, it has to be
shit.
crunchy.
Yeah.
It has to
Well,
be.
it's not always crunchy.
I know.
Sometimes
I'm
it's
saying
soggy.
it, but for me,
Yeah. Oh yeah. For me too.
it has to be crunchy. I don't get the parfait. I don't get the yogurt.
I don't get the yogurt either.
There should be a kind of a tangy yogurtness.
Yeah. I don't want
To
to
this as
taint
well.
your review, but I don't also taste the yogurt.
No taints.
There's no yogurt, no taints.
No taints. I don't know. It's not bad because there's no flavor. I personally really enjoy seltzer water. I drink it.
Yeah.
I'll have a couple cans of seltzer water throughout the day. Not alcoholic seltzer, just regular seltzer water. And I enjoy that. I enjoy this. But I enjoy it like a can of seltzer water. There's just not much flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is extremely muted.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's already muted and then it's after this, then I'm concerned that I can't give it its proper justice of a score. But it's, I don't know, 3.5.
3.5.
There's nothing wrong with it because there's nothing to be wrong with it, other than the fact that it's labeled maybe incorrectly. Maybe it should just be seltzer water beer.
It could be. Very good. All right. This is the Can Runner segment brought to you by Chuckalo Emily. Again, another beer I bought. So, Emily, you're going to stay the Can Art sponsor for some time here. And next week, we have our bad beers. So, we all bought those.
3 terrible beers.
So, Emily will be the sponsor of the bad beer segment, too. This bottle art, it kind of goes with the theme of the episode. They're blueberries raining down on a city, a dark city, kind of Gotham-y style coloring. Mm-hmm. Very blueberry color sky.
I wonder if it's Columbus.
But yeah, it might be. I don't know what the Columbus skyline looks like, but I'd have to assume that.
Yeah.
Based on the only thing I remember driving into Columbus each time I've driven in is seeing Nationwide. There it is, Nationwide.
It's on your side.
It's on your side. And they're also on your right side of the highway when you're going into Columbus, and then on the left side when you're leaving.
And they're also not sponsoring this podcast.
They're not sponsoring this podcast, but they are out of Columbus. They're headquartered there. Reminded me of the story we were talking about earlier, the climate change stuff. Also WALL-E, the movie WALL-E.
God, I fucking love WALL-E.
It's a great movie. It's so good, and God, does it not remind you of the place I currently work? Yeah. Like the ship, the part on the ship where everyone's driving around on like those little hovercraft, little wheelchairs or whatever.
Yeah, Cheeseburger Randy.
Yeah, it's work, you know. It's work to work there. But here's the counter. I mean, it's blueberries raining on a dark city, Columbus probably. And you know what? Kudos to them for putting that on their bottle. And the Wolf's Ridge. Usually it's on a can, so it's not this pronounced, but this wolf is pretty cool. I've always liked that. Kind of draws me to their cans.
Yeah.
Because I really like dogs, and wolves are cool. And it's not a silhouette, but it's not as detailed as like a photo, but it's like in between.
It's a very good like realism, black and gray, black and white drawing of a wolf. It's great.
A cool wolf.
It's not your typical pose for a wolf.
Right, yeah, that either. It's looking away. I wonder if that is a picture that someone at the brewery. I wonder what Wolf's Ridge really, why they named themselves that. We'd have to go there and find out.
Speaking of wolves, real quick.
Yeah.
I just read a recent interesting article. The first ever collared wolf with a video camera is transmitting data.
No way.
So on the hour, every hour, the video camera comes on, records 30 seconds, and transmits it and sends it back. Scientists are finally receiving that data, and they got the first 24 hours of it. And it's the first ever confirmation that wolves eat blueberries and berries in general.
No way.
Yeah. So it had them.
Holy shit.
It had them actively catching and eating fish out of a river, and then eating berries, blueberries and raspberries and stuff like that. So they've always known that they eat them, but they didn't know. Or they hypothesized that they ate berries, but they never had proof of it.
That's awesome.
Till now. So that's really, I mean...
That is neat.
Come on, that's really cool to get video from a fucking wolf.
Yeah, that's awesome. They're doing the same thing with sharks. Because at least with the great white, they're like so baffled by how this thing operates in the ocean. They've got so much new information about it.
Yeah.
Like it'll go all the way up and down the coast several times in a year.
I saw that one.
For no reason.
I saw that one... off the coast of the Outer Banks, 17-footer.
Mm-hmm.
She went out to the very middle of the Atlantic Ocean for a long time.
That's insane.
Yeah, just out of the blue, she's just like, I'm gonna go 3,000 miles.
Yeah, for fun.
Well, maybe
they'll find something out there. You know, sharks. They're fucking weird.
I know.
They're cool though. They're kind of like the humans of the ocean. They're not as smart as dolphins, probably. But they travel, you know?
Yeah.
On vacation.
Yeah.
Just going to the middle of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
They probably have, like, maps. They have schools. Schools of sharks.
Definitely.
They're learning about the geography.
Social media.
And they're just now getting into figuring out how to get on land. So they can hunt us. Like we hunt them.
It's coming.
The shark apocalypse is coming.
Finally.
You've been waiting. I have kind of been not waiting. You nailed a lot. I'm gonna read this, just a little bit of this. Our Wolfpack Social Club is made up of some of our most passionate fans. That passion occasionally leads to great ideas and a very vocal demand for more of our most limited beers. Thanks to them, we finally decided to make enough blueberry parfait to bottle, inspired by your morning yogurt parfait. This beer is bursting with character from the color on through to the cinnamon and blueberry heavy aroma and flavor. Packaged on December 6th, 2019. December 5th, 2019. So that's what they say. That's the Can Art Boner segment, brought to you by Chuggable Emily. You nailed the seltzer-ish. I don't think it was this beer. I don't think it wrecked us. This is a light, watery beer.
Yeah.
And to its detriment. It doesn't help it. But I will say, if you've ever had just an unflavored cream ale, one that just says cream ale.
Yeah.
It does have that flavor in here.
Does it?
Yeah, I can taste the cream ale, but not the creaminess or the... I mean, I don't know what I was expecting out of this with blueberry and cinnamon with vanilla, but...
To be honest, I was expecting a lot from Wolf's Ridge and Blueberry Parfait. You know, once again, if you're going to advertise, then hit me with it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I was expecting something thicker. Thicker tasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Which is where that seltzer feeling comes from. It does have a muted flavor of blueberry or something. Yeah, I think it's just the muted flavor of cream ale. Like you said, you can't taste the blueberry, you can't taste the vanilla or the cinnamon. I can't either.
Now you get the color. I mean, the color is there, but blueberries are highly staining.
Yeah.
You know, you eat one or two, and if you get a little bit of the juice on your finger, it will stain your skin. So, getting the color of blueberry probably isn't very difficult.
Yeah, probably not.
The flavor is probably a lot more difficult.
I'm a little disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know where to go with my score because, again, it doesn't taste bad.
No.
So it can't get a bad score, but it has a disappointing feel to it.
I think now that I've had it, it's not bad, and I think it would be good with breakfast.
Yeah.
Like with a big savory breakfast, like bacon, eggs, sausage, maybe biscuit and gravy.
Yeah.
Like a big savory breakfast, this would be good on the side. Instead of having like an overly sweet mimosa or something like that, this is a much more subdued.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You know, help balance the big ass breakfast.
That's a good idea. I haven't been able to do bacon lately.
That's
too salty. It's too salty. Can't do it. Man, what's my score on this beer? I'm gonna have to go 3.0. Good enough to finish. Not good enough to buy again.
No, I would not buy it again.
Not buying it again. But but it did not. I didn't lose any faith in Wolf's Ridge.
I wonder how much was lost in translation from drinking this on draft at the brewery to being bottled.
Probably a good amount. Maybe they nitroed it.
Because
that'd be cool.
You know, they say due to demand and all this stuff, and I believe them. I wonder if, like, at the brewery, this is just a different beer.
Yeah. It very well could be. We'll have to go and find out. If we ever go back to Columbus as a group, we should go to Wolf's Ridge. We will.
Rock you.
If Wolf's Ridge, because I'm tagging you in this on Facebook. If you'd like us to come by, we will do it. We also have to schedule a non-weekday or non-work day with Nowhere in Particular.
Yes, non-work day.
I have his card on my dresser, ready to be called.
We need to do that
when
soon.
We schedule it. Yeah, we do need to do it soon. I have some time, and they're available on weekends. So look out for that. Probably be a bonus episode Or we'll just put it out on Tuesday and not do the Tuesday episode. I don't know. Depends on how it goes.
We'll see.
But yeah, they have so much beer coming out. And their brewery is awesome. Totally nice guy. Pounded a Natter Days with him.
What time do they open?
I think they open at noon, but he seemed willing to work with us.
Oh, really?
Like on anything. Any solution we want. Like he wants to have like a podcast extravaganza.
I feel like it should be like a Friday, like nooner kind of a deal.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
Or if we can get in there like at 11 and meet him there before, that way we can keep it quiet and we can really, but also let it rip with the dude.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm in. Let me know. And we'll get together with Matt and figure out what days we have open. I think as of now, Matt's got the strictest schedule. As of always, pretty much.
Yeah, well.
As of always. But
that's
even more so now.
That's self-imposed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a very regimented person.
I feel like that's changed, though.
Yeah.
Over time.
Yeah, I mean, with kids.
He's flexible.
Things get chaotic. But, that's all the beer I have for today.
That is all the beer that you had for today. I have none. I didn't bring it.
Yeah, I don't have a segment 3 or anything. We can talk about WrestleMania if you want. We can talk about sweatpants, or we can just end it and say bad beer.
Was there something from WrestleMania that you wanted to talk about? I don't know WrestleMania.
No.
And I don't want to.
I'm sure Matt has
thoughts.
hold off.
I think you should hold off on WrestleMania until Matt's available.
Yeah, Matt has thoughts. I'm sure.
Discuss
he
it.
has thoughts. Matt taught me how to think about wrestling a little bit as an adult.
Yeah.
Because like it was, I wanted to get back into it for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they're into it. They're way into it. But they're into it like I was when I was a kid. Like, these wrestlers are wrestling. But, like, Matt taught me kind of how to think about it from a business perspective. Like, okay, so they're promoting... Think about it like the guy who's the champion, he's the face of the company.
Mm-hmm.
So as you see people rise up the ranks, that's kind of the company moving its managers around and moving its worker bees around and stuff. It was really interesting the way he put it in perspective. And that's how I've been watching it. And, I have thoughts.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it.
What about baseball?
Yeah, baseball. It's we're about a month in now, and it is an absolute catastrophe for the Cubs.
Was that expected?
No,
or unexpected.
Well, it's expected in some ways because their pitching isn't great.
I did see that,
but their offense is supposed to be really good.
I saw, and I was happy to see this. The Reds are still in first place, and Joey Votto turned a triple play the other week.
Did he? Oh, I think I did see that.
That is fucking sweet. I saw. I read news, and then when I find a headline that I'm interested in, then I read the story.
Yeah.
And then if there's a video, I obviously watch the video. So I watch. I do love Joey Votto. He's like.
Yeah.
He is a hardcore Red. I don't know if he's gonna ever go anywhere.
No, probably not.
I think he's gonna.
He'll be here.
Like, he'll just retire from Cincinnati.
He will.
He is a hardcore.
Yeah, I don't see him going anywhere.
So he like is like for me. I've been in this area since 2010, and when we moved here, we would take the kids to Reds games. The Great American Ballpark was just a really great environment for families and whatnot, and a lot of fun. And the Reds have always sucked, but Joey Votto's always been like the mainstay of the team, and so it's a lot of fun when he does well. But so when he turned the triple play, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I know sports.
I like his personality. I can't.
Personality is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I like how he interacts with people and the fans and everything.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah,
that's how baseball should be.
And he'll interact on Twitter and stuff like that. Like he'll engage.
I gotta follow him.
He'll engage people on Instagram. Like if people poke and prod him, he'll answer.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw the one time when the fan caught a foul ball and he would like look at the Reds jersey and I was like, you're not a Reds fan.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's how baseball should be. I think that's what baseball is missing. And in its, people complain how baseball's too slow. Non-fans. Why don't you watch baseball while it's too slow?
Yeah.
But fan interaction or even just engagement with the players at all, mic them up, mic up the dugouts, whatever. I think that could improve the likability of the league.
So I also recently, maybe it was this morning actually, I read the story with Gary Sheffield.
I didn't read this.
Oh, so a recent interview with Gary Sheffield. He said he doesn't even watch baseball anymore because it's what was his reasons? There's too many home runs and too many hits and no more like power sluggers left and stuff like that.
Interesting.
And he said the game has changed so much that he said he's on contract with TBS. He is an announcer, or he calls games, but he only calls games in the postseason.
Okay.
So he doesn't watch baseball. Period. Until right before he has to go to work in the postseason.
Wow.
And then he does all his homework, like cram session, because he has no idea who these players are.
Yeah.
He has no idea.
That's crazy to me. Gary Sheffield played during the most controversial time in baseball history, the steroid era.
Yeah.
So to argue that there's no power hitters left. That's true. That's true because
I think he was a true.
He might. Yeah.
Back then, I did pay attention
there's a
to
few.
baseball,
There's a few people.
and I don't think he ever did juice up.
Yeah,
his body was always the same.
Yeah.
And he just swung. I think the point that he was making was that, back in his day, you couldn't strike out, however many times he was climbing, like 100 times before April or 190 in a season or something like that. And now it's perfectly acceptable for people to have 100 plus strikeouts, at a certain time in the season.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot there. I mean, he's right, but I don't think the game has suffered. I think his opinion is that people come to see the long ball.
Yeah.
And that's probably true because we saw baseball was on its deathbed in the 90s after the strike. And then the home run race between Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire brought it back. They brought back the ratings, they brought back the money, they brought back everything.
The juice, man.
The juice brought back baseball. Which is really my biggest argument to get McGwire into the Hall of Fame is that it's not the Hall of good guys. Because there's shitloads of horrible people in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
It's the Hall of Fame. The people who made baseball a better sport. And Mark McGwire, by I think all measures, made baseball better to the fans. He brought it back from the dead. Anyway, that period of baseball was the steroid era, and it was all about the long ball. Currently, they're finding that kids and teens and college-age kids, their velocity and their arm speed is super. It's like maximized. It's up higher than it's ever been in history, which means that the major leaguers are throwing harder than they've ever thrown.
Yeah.
So we're just entering an era of pitching. And there will be an adjustment, I'm sure. Yeah. They did it. They changed the baseball a couple of years ago.
Okay.
So that what used to be you contact the ball and maybe it comes off the bat at 90 miles an hour. They changed the ball enough. They compacted the threads to where now it's coming off 10 miles an hour faster. So you're getting a little bit more distance out of it. And yeah, people argue that's probably not good for the game because you can't compare stats between eras. But how do you counter the strikeouts? I mean, they're crazy.
Yeah. You've
got all these no-hitters. It's a pitcher's era. And if Gary Sheffield doesn't like it, that's unfortunate because I'm sure he'd be a great advocate for the game.
I don't think...
I think some of the offensive players like Ronald Acuna Jr.,
he alludes to the fact that he's like, I understand that I'm going to come across as like the old man that doesn't like the new game.
Yeah, I'm sure he knows that.
He's like... Yeah, he fully acknowledges it in this interview. He's like, I understand that that's the way it comes across. He's like, but he's Gary Sheffield. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't like to watch baseball.
Gary Sheffield, and that's the weird thing is Gary Sheffield played during a time where it's known to that everyone was cheating, except a few. Frank Thomas, Gary Sheffield, a few others. His reputation was hurt, not personal reputation, but his overall his baseball legend was hurt because other people exceeded him in talent
by cheating. Yeah,
and he didn't. And Gary Sheffield was a great player. How great would he be seen in the eyes of the fan if no one was cheating?
If it was a level field.
If it was a level playing field.
Yeah.
So I get it. I totally get what he's saying. But I think the game is more exciting. But that's because I'm a baseball fan. It's hard to say. I think it's more exciting now because it's a chess game. The pitchers, they have data scientists. The batters, they have data scientists. And they're all telling them what the pitcher's going to throw or what the batter's going to do, how they respond to certain pitches, what their vision's like, all that kind of stuff. And you have fun players. Like Clayton Kershaw, apparently, I never liked him, but my mom said he was on this podcast, and he was awesome.
Yeah.
He was on like a podcast with Jason Bateman.
I like Jason Bateman.
Yeah. And he was like a really charismatic guy, which I didn't see coming. And then you have players like Acuna and Yelich and a few people who are big time.
Does anyone are there current players that have really good nicknames?
Really good nicknames. Well, Javi Baez is El Mago, the magician,
Okay.
because he has a really good tag.
Okay.
I'm not really good at the nicknames.
Like Frank Thomas was the Big Hurt.
The Big Hurt, yeah.
Randy Johnson was the Big Unit.
The Big Unit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've got
David Ortiz was Big Poppy.
Big
There's a lot of
Poppy.
bigs.
A lot of bigs.
Is there a big in the league right now? I don't know. I don't know about nicknames very well.
And then
There's the Professor. He's also on. I only know the Cubs ones. That's Kyle Hendricks.
So I'm just saying,
which we saw.
Oh,
We
yeah.
saw his probably the greatest game of Kyle Hendricks' career to
I'm
date,
sure.
and probably for the future. I mean, he threw an 88 pitch. I think it was 88 pitches, complete game.
Yep.
Shot out of the Cardinals. Fuck yeah, can't beat that.
Nope.
Fuck the Cardinals.
And we were there in person.
We were there in
Live.
person, and you met Harrison Bader.
Yep. Shook his hand.
You shook his hand. I bet he's got a cool nickname. It's probably something Star Wars-ish. Like Bader Vader or something like that.
I hope so. I hope it's not Master Vader.
Oh, that's probably it. Actually, now that I think about it. He's probably the Master Vader.
I'm just saying, maybe they need to build up the characters. You know.
Yeah, they do. I
and,
think they do.
You know, the nicknames help build up the character and the
That's
mystique
true.
and everything. And how else do you advertise? Like, oh, let's watch this guy's.
We need a Space Jam.
Yeah.
There needs to be a baseball
Absolutely.
Space Jam. Bugs Bunny and his band of cartoons need to play against a bunch of aliens who take over the bodies of Major League Baseball players.
I saw a headline that this morning, I didn't read the story, that the Boston Red Sox offense may be what saves baseball. I was tempted to click it, just because the New England perspective of my family. I always liked the Red Sox.
Yeah.
I like to follow them.
Okay.
And then, oh gosh, the other idea just escaped me. Either way.
Yeah. Well, I watched a game the other day.
Sports.
It was the Dodgers versus the Padres, and it was magnificent.
And what fashion?
It was awesome. It just Clayton Kershaw. It was Clayton Kershaw versus Yu Darvish.
The Padres
Pitcher.
are
They're good again
picked to
go far.
go far.
I'm not sure that they're picked over the Dodgers by many experts, but I picked them over the Dodgers personally.
And you're an expert.
I'm an expert. They had there's a lot of heat, a lot of just anger.
I want to see that. I
It
want to
was
see
awesome.
fighting.
It was awesome.
I want to
Yeah.
see anger. I want to see aggression.
Yeah.
I want to see in your face.
There was a lot in your face.
I want to see people spitting tobacco on other players'
Yeah,
cleats.
It's happening.
Yeah, I
It's
want
happening.
all that shit.
It's,
That will make me watch baseball.
Yeah, anger. Yeah, that fire was there.
I want to see
You
that.
see the Dodgers versus the Padres series. The problem with baseball is that they haven't recognized yet that the whole country doesn't operate on West Coast time. That's their biggest issue right now is that when teams go west, they play late, too late.
Oh yeah, yeah.
10 o'clock start time, that's ridiculous. Get with the fucking program.
Inappropriate.
Like, do what the NFL does and create start times that are tiered for the whole country to get used to.
Right.
Stop letting the Angels play at 10.
And I guarantee you, people on the West Coast will show up for baseball games at 10 a.m.
Yeah, they will.
Especially on weekdays.
Yes, they will.
They'll leave work and
They'll
go
leave
to
work.
the ballpark.
Most of the people who live in the cities where baseball teams are, they're all rich anyway.
They're rich as fuck.
Anaheim, come on. Does anyone that live in Anaheim make under $500,000 a year? Raise your hand. Put a comment on Facebook. I guarantee you we'll get no comments. If we get no comments, then everyone in Anaheim makes over
Guaranteed.
$500,000 a year or more.
Yeah. Or they're unemployed.
Yeah, but they're still making.
But
Anaheim just pays
they
them.
can tune in at 10
They can tune in at 10 a.m. because they're unemployed.
Right. Just bump everything back a few hours. Don't
Yeah.
do nooners, do 10 a.m.s.
10 a.m. Do 10 a.m.s. Baseball. Listen, 10 a.m.s. Just make baseball standard like football does. Standard times. I'm not staying up till 2 in the morning
No.
to watch the fucking Angels. Stupid. I think that's good. People say they don't like sports talk, but this was good sports talk. I mean, Gary Sheffield came up today.
I know Gary Sheffield.
I have a stack of Gary Sheffield rookie cards.
I like Gary
They're
Sheffield.
like pristine.
He was like a man's man.
He was a man's man.
Yeah.
A lot of 90s baseball players were man's men.
Yeah.
Men.
Nowadays, that's probably not received well when you say, like, a man's man. Like, it's probably not. And I don't mean it in that fashion. I just mean the fact that he's kind of a straight shooter. Like, I think he was always a straight shooter in the game. And he still is in whatever capacity he is now. But
no, I think that
he was just a cool
it's not.
dude.
I think that there's two things at play here. The idea that men should be men's men is antiquated. But being a man's man, there's categories of people. There's this type of man, and then there's the man's man. I don't think that's inappropriate. I think that there's them, and then there's other ones. That's what I'm saying. And he was one of the man's men. Men's man?
Men's mans.
Man's men. He's the man's man.
He is a man. He is a man among men.
Yeah. He is. He swung a stick.
That's right.
And he hit balls with it.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
A lot of them.
Gary Sheffield.
509 home runs.
This is the Gary Sheffield episode of the Brew Crew podcast.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. That's the title.
Smell you later.
The Gary Sheffield episode.
Yep.
Yeah, smell you later. Hopefully. We got to do one of those Brew Crew bashes, or whatever we were calling it.
The Chugathon or
Chugathon. Bye.